The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to locate my line of action. I am noticing it is very close to my reference point, a little bit to the right. I will put a mark there. I am noticing here I want to find where my line of action touches my border. Come in, negative space judgment. I'm going to put a mark about right there. Okay, next thing, upper left-hand corner. I'm going to come across the top. I will put a mark about right there. I have made 3 marks to help myself draw my line of action. Okay, so I'm going to draw like this. I'm going to draw it downward towards the one that is close to my reference point, making a nice sketchy line like that, hitting my reference point across right there. Okay, I can see it goes down kind of straight for a bit, then it's going to bend, and I'm going to bend that right here like this towards that point, just like that. Okay, and that gives me line of action. My character is going to kind of follow this angle right here. Okay, next thing I want to draw, the head of Mickey Mouse. Now I notice the bottom of its head about lines up, even with my reference point, so I will put a mark right there, like that, horizontal. One of the difficult things to do is to get Mickey Mouse's head the right size. The way I solve that problem is with a judgment of negative space. So what I'm going to do is come down from my top border, and I will put a mark right there for the top of Mickey Mouse's head, like that. Next thing I want to do, judge my negative space again. I'll come in from the left. I'm going to put a mark about right here for the left side of his head. Coming over here, I think I'll put a mark about right there. I have made, once again, a type of square that tells me the exact size of his head. That's what I want to do. So then I'm going to sketch in a nice circle, like this, representing Mickey Mouse's head. So I'm thinking something like that looks about right. I'm going to go over that circle several times until it becomes nice and round. I'm thinking something like that. Okay, that's my first shape. I really need to get that right. If I don't, everything else is going to get all messed up, and I'll be very disappointed. Okay, next thing I want to do, I'm going to locate various simple shape details within this face of Mickey Mouse. Okay, I think I'm going to locate a curving line about right here for the top of his eyes, and I'll curve that around, make sure it's curving, and I'll come down like that. There we go. I'm going to locate another curving line like this. If I draw these lines too straight, it won't look 3D, and I love the third dimension. Okay, in addition, I'm going to add a nose to my Mickey Mouse, and I'll put it right about here. You're noticing how the nose is perhaps cut in half by my line of action. So I'll sketch that in, going around it several times until it becomes the right size. Okay, I want to sketch in some ears of Mickey Mouse. Now I'm going to check my negative space. I want those ears to be about this ear right here, this close to my line of action. Negative space for my top border, I'll put that about right there. Negative space coming in from the left, I'll go about right there with that. And then the bottom of that, I want that to be somewhere right in here. Okay. So right in here, I'm going to draw an oval, noticing how just a little bit of it is going to come inside my mouse's head. I sketch that oval nice and light, rather rough, going around it several times until it kind of grows to become the right size. Okay, next thing I want to do is I'm going to sketch in ear number 2. Now what I'm going to do with ear number 2 is I'm going to come in down from my border, negative space. I'm going to put a mark right there. I'm always looking at my negative space, and of course that is one of the grading criteria. Size of drawing compared to border, so I always want to be aware of that. This ear is significantly higher on the page than my first one. I'm going to sketch it in once again as an oval, noticing that a little bit of it comes into his head right there. Okay, just like that. Again, I go around several times until it becomes the right size and shape. Okay, I'm feeling like that's a great start for my sketch of Mickey Mouse. Okay, next thing I want to look at, and I'm feeling really good about the negative space to the left and above. I love the size of his head. I'm ready to move on. Okay, next thing I want to do is his body. Now I'm noticing that his body goes a little bit inside his head, so I'm going to put a little mark right there on my line of action. Okay, now my next step is very critical. I've got to judge the bottom of the body, and I've got to leave enough negative space for his leg and his foot. So I'm going to put a mark about right here for the bottom of his body. Okay. I'm going to check real quick where the side of that body is going to be. Yep, right there. And I'm going to kind of draw this bean type of shape that pretty much follows the angle of my line of action. So I'm thinking something about like this. Okay, there's the left side of it. Next thing I want to do, I'm going to do the right side. Once again, kind of using that line of action to help me get the angle. I'm thinking something like that. Sometimes I like to find a little circle in there, which I'm putting in right there, just to kind of make this like it's two circles connecting together, showing me the shape of that body. Okay, now I'm thinking that's looking really good so far. Okay, next thing I want to work on. I want to work on his hand up here. And this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm going to look at several things first. Okay, now I'm going to focus on the circle for his palm, and I'm going to use my knowledge of negative space, putting a mark about right here. Okay, so I need the circle of his palm to end up somewhere on that line. Okay, then the other side of that circle, I think that's going to be about right. The other side of it's about right in here. Okay. Now I'm going to come down for negative space because I have to leave room for his thumb, and I'm thinking of a spot about right there. Most beginning students just draw a circle in some random location. They hope that it's right. Not me. I take a look. Okay, so I've created for myself, once again, a nice square, which I'm going to use to fill up with a circle, representing the palm of Mickey Mouse's hand. So I'll put that in, as you can see, like that. Going around that several times. There we go. Okay, continuing. Now, I'm going to put in his thumb. So I've got to check my negative space. It's about even with his ear. That looks about right. I want it to be about that far away from his ear. I will mark that space. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to draw in a thumb. I'm going to go up a little bit. Then I'm going to curve out and up. Checking my negative space once again. Hitting that mark, as you can see. There we go. I'll bring this thumb downward, making it nice and round. Bring it down and connect it into the top of my circle. Okay, next thing, I want to draw a shape that's filled up by his fingers. Now, my negative space over here at my border is really small. That makes it super easy to locate. So I'll put that right there. It's going to curve downward, and I'll hit my mark, as you can see. And then from the bottom, it's going to curve upward just a bit. Nice and rounded there at the tip. There we go. That's the shape of his fingers. A simple shape to be filled up by his fingers. Okay, next thing. Now he always wears a glove, and I want to put on kind of the wrist area here of that glove. I'm just drawing it as kind of a half circle or a crescent moon shape like that. That'll give me this nice wrist right there. Okay, now I look at my body next. His arm is going to touch his body right there, and it's going to connect to his hand right there. So what I want to draw is a curving line, curving right past his face, going right there, just like that. Then I'm drawing by comparison now. I've got this line touching the side of Mickey's face, and his arm's going to be just above that right there, and I'm going to connect that right there up into his wrist, and there I have the arm of Mickey Mouse. Okay, let's do another arm and hand. Okay, I'm going to locate my circle. What I'm going to do is check my negative space. How far is it from his arm? Negative space right there. How far from the body? I'm thinking of a spot about right there. Then I want to check real quick and see how high it is above his body. I'm thinking of a spot right in here. Check my negative space again. Okay. And over here, and check my negative space again. I'm thinking of a spot about right there. Okay. Now let's take one more look there. Yep, I want that about right there. Looks fantastic. Okay, most beginning students draw hands that are too small. But again, I've taken a look here, and I'm going to draw in this nice circle. And I'm thinking of a circle that's about right there, like that. Sketching in another nice, simplified shape. My circles usually are kind of lopsided, so I'd like to go around them several times until they become the right size. Okay, then it's just a matter of connecting up here. I'm going to draw from the top of that body down right below his first arm. I've noticed that. I'm going to draw into that circle about that far. I want his arm to look like a pipe, so I'm going to make it a little bit rounded, just like that. Okay, drawing down from the other side, just under his head, I'll draw down like this, like that. Nice curve. Don't want this arm to be too straight. Right there, that looks pretty good. And I want to add that wrist shape again. I'll do that like this. Okay, I'm feeling really good about this mouse so far. Using my simple shapes, my knowledge of negative space, drawing light, drawing by comparison, all those things that we've learned about drawing. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put in a leg and then a foot. Okay, pants. Alright, so I'm going to draw by comparison. I'm going to come off the back of that body, and I'm going to curve that just a little bit. I don't want his pants to be too long. I'm thinking of a spot right there. Okay, and then I check again. His pant is just a little bit higher than where my line of action crosses, so that means about right there. And I'm going to draw that kind of curvy like that. And I want to make sure his pants are kind of curvy too, and I'll put that in right there. A shape for his pants. Okay, now Mickey Mouse has some very large feet, so I'm going to check my negative space. Okay, how close should it be to my border? Size compared to my border, being aware of that right now. Okay, I'm noticing his foot goes inside his pant just a little bit, about right there. So I'm thinking like right here, that's the edge of it. How close is it to his head? All right, that's going to be a nice, good-sized foot for my Mickey Mouse. Most beginning students shrink the feet, but not me. I'm taking a look at those things, drawing by comparison. Got myself a nice oval here. Going to go around that a couple times till it becomes the right shape. Right there. I think that looks fantastic. Okay, then I can put it together like a puzzle. Here's his leg inside his pant. I'll get that curving up right there. Here's his knee. It's not too big. And I'll just put that right there. That looks great to me. I think I'm having a great day. A great drawing test. Okay, his ankle. And I'll put in another little half circle. Just like that. And there we go. Okay, it's looking awesome to me so far. Okay, looks like I've got to do one more leg and one more foot. Alright, I'm going to start with those pants once again. Here's my line of action, crossing his body. I'm drawing a short section of pant, maybe about that far. Okay, coming down, how far is it from his arm? Oh, I'm thinking of a spot about right there. Okay, curving pant leg. Oh, I'm thinking something like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is before I draw in his leg, I'm going to go ahead and position a very large foot. Okay, check my negative space. How far is it from his hand and his arm up here? So I'm going to think of a spot right there. Negative space, heel, border, spot right there. Negative space on the right, coming in from the right. I'm thinking of a spot right there. Okay, and I'm also thinking for the left side of that foot, I'm thinking of a spot, oh, about right there. That looks about right. Okay, I've developed for myself again a shape to draw within. Okay, so I'm going to sketch that in. Alright, here I go. Got a nice curve here at the bottom, coming up. Kind of hit that right there. Curve it around. As I come in here, I'm going to curve this in. Going to go right past that pant leg. It's really close to it, right in there like that. Okay, interesting shape. Alright, now this shape here has the shape of the foot as well as the side of it. So I'm going to sketch this in like this. Coming up here like that. Make that kind of rounded. That makes my foot look very three-dimensional. Okay, last thing to do, put on a leg. That's going to come down like this, connecting at this point right there. And right here like that. That's looking really good to me. Drawing his little ankle once again. And I'll come down here like that. Okay, I'm feeling really good. I'm going to bring this foot down. This foot's just a little bit too high. I'll bring it down just a little bit more here. Okay, so as I work throughout this drawing, I focused on my line of action, my simplified shapes, my negative space, and right here I've got a simplified version of Mickey Mouse, the mascot of Disneyland, also known as the happiest place on earth.